Hey gang, Sam Ward here, and we are continuing our series, Biblical Connections. As I read through the Bible in a year, I'm seeing these amazing connections between the Old Testament and the New Testament. This past week, I was in Joshua 21 and also in John chapter 3. This is what you see about God. God is light. We see that all the way through John, and also that he's truthful and faithful. He keeps his word. That's who God is. And we see that with Israel. It says in Joshua, not one word of all the good promises that the Lord had made to the house of Israel had failed. All came to pass. This is who our God is. He does what he says he will do. He always brings things out of the darkness into the light. Here's the trouble, though. We are not like that, right? We struggle to speak the truth, and we struggle to live in the light, and we assume that other people are in the darkness. Even in God's people struggle. I struggle, if I'm honest. And we see this again in this story in Joshua 21. We see that it's important to go to another person, another party, and ask them, hey, what's going on? I don't understand this. So what happens is the people of Reuben and the people of God had acted faithfully in helping the rest of Israel, and they had wanted this inheritance on this side of the Jordan, but they crossed the Jordan with the rest of Israel to help fight for the land. They had acted faithfully. They're now on their way back home across the Jordan River, and they make this altar out of stones. They had done it as a memorial that this is our God, and we are one people. But the rest of Israel thought they were setting up an altar to a pagan god. They thought this was blasphemy, and it almost starts a civil war. They are on their way to destroy their brothers, and they sit down and say, hey, what's going on? Why would you do this? And they said, no. We are part of you. Yahweh is our God, but we wanted to remind our people, our brothers and our sisters, and especially the children that come after us, that even though we live on different sides of the Jordan, we are one people and we serve one God. It says they called the altar witness, for they said, it is a witness between us that the Lord is God. This misunderstanding almost started a civil war. Later in the book of John, we see Nicodemus. And again, there's lots of misunderstanding about who Jesus is, and what does Nicodemus do? He goes straight to Jesus and he says, teacher, I don't understand this. Help me understand this. And Jesus tries to explain to him what it means to be born again. And Nicodemus is trying to wrap his head around it. But he's asking the right questions to the right person. He's finding understanding. He's bringing himself out of the darkness into the light. Even though it does say that this man, Nicodemus, came to Jesus by night. But he asked the right questions. I was reminded that we are called to be more like God. We're called to bring things out of the darkness into the light. We're called to be truthful, and we're called to be faithful with other people, to ask the right questions, to go to someone one-on-one and say, I don't understand this. Help me understand. We see that in Israel's case, they avoided a civil war, and in Nicodemus's case, he found the truth. He found life. And Jesus said to Nicodemus, whoever does what is true comes to the light, so that it may be clearly seen that his works have been carried out in God. Let that be true of us.